Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here today to review episode 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. And we're also going to review Bleach Thousand Year Blood War part 2, episode 2. And as always, I have here with me Ramon
Hey guys.
and Raul.
Howdy, howdy.
And guys, if you're only here for one of them, look at the timestamps below because that'll tell you when we start the review for either Jujutsu Kaisen or Bleach. But guys, let's start right away and let's start talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. And man, I did not expect episode 2 to start with a guy making tea. I'm like, okay, that's a very interesting way of starting this episode. Very quiet moment, Geto making his tea. And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe it's one of those things where in Japan they drink more tea than coffee because I would have definitely made myself a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah.
What about you guys? What did you guys? What would you have made? Tea or coffee?
I'm definitely a coffee person. I never drink tea. I would drink tea. I never do. But I drink a ton of coffee, so I definitely would have made coffee.
Ramon's a tea guy.
I was gonna say it's a hot toddy still kind of count because that's tea and alcohol, so it's still tea in there. And I mean, I'm all for a hot toddy, so let's go. Even if I'm not sick, do tea and some liquor and then a little bit of lemon. Perfect.
I just know one time I went to Ramon's house and he offered me like 20 different kinds of different tea that I could have had with my. So like I know you definitely are well prepared for to serve your guests, Ramon.
Yup, and my liquor cabinet to match it. So what kind of hot toddy do you want?
All right, well, man, let's move past the tea making. What did you guys think about episode 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Could I sit? Yeah, I was like, could I say my initial reaction? Because besides Geto making his tea, the licking sounds, right? I was like, wait, what's going on? here he is, like preparing himself a nice little cup of tea, and then you just hear this licking and like, what was she saying? Like, kiss me or like whatever, yeah, kiss me. And the next thing you know, you have this freaking curse that looks like Lickitung over here abusing the dude from Q. It was a funny way to start.
I'll quit Q. I'll leave. I'll quit sorcery altogether.
It's like if you ever wonder what kind of freaking torture works best, it's apparently freaking love kisses from a curse and licks from a curse. That would do it. But no, it's a pretty entertaining way to start because it was right away funny, so there was like nothing too serious about it there, and it was a funny way of interrogating the dude. So it was great.
So guys, like I've told you, like I hardly ever take notes, but this time I took notes. So like I left them on the table. My wife saw them, and she's like, "What the hell is kissing curse cute?" Question mark Geto. And I'm like, I can explain that. I can explain that. But that was actually a question that I had for you guys. Ro, I mean, if you go, let's hear your your first thoughts about the episode. But like, I do have a question for you guys about these cute curses that Geto has.
I think it was horrible. There was a dog in it, and I can't do it. I'm kidding. It was actually a pretty cool episode. I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was.
Oh, that makes me happy.
It was as good or better than the first episode. So I'm a fan.
Nice. I love it. I love that positiveness. One of us needs to be positive. No, what I was gonna say is, guys, like clearly in the first episode, we know that Geto is absorbing these like curses and eating them, and then he can use them himself and he can manipulate them. One of my questions for you guys was, is he purposely able to make him cute? Because the two demons curses that we saw, they're sort of like not as horrific looking as what I would imagine some of these could look like if I encountered them in the middle of the night in an alley. Like, for example, there's the one that the maid was riding on, and it was almost like a little like pony or a little horsey, and like she started petting it and playing around with it. And even the kissing one, like, be honest, like, yes, like I would not like want to be kissed by it, but it didn't look as terrible. So like my thing is, does he purposely manipulate them to look cuter, and then like maybe possibly he can manipulate them to look the way they did when he captured them? No? Okay, so these guys, so these curses just look like that then.
Yeah, so see, here's my thing, the perfect comparison. When you played Pokemon, did you pick Pikachu because, he was cute? No, you picked him, well, also because it was your first Pokemon. But, like, I feel like he just has a collection of different curses. And I think he, we know with Geto we're seeing in this season so far that he's not, like, a terrible guy, right? Which
not
sucks
a terrible
because,
guy, dude.
Which we know he ends up being kind of a bad guy. But he's not a bad guy. And I think everything that he's, like, said to this point seem like he's trying to be positive, or he's trying to be, like, some sort of, like, non-violent with without, like not too overboard. And I think that's what it is. I think he has his collection of curses, and at one point he's just picking like whatever feels right. And clearly he's not trying to be harmful. He's not trying to be super violent. He knows that he's smart enough to be like, let me pick this like cute little annoying curse, and let me just like have that dude lick him, and I think it's a fun way of doing it. But I like Pokemon. You have all kinds of varieties.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think, yeah, I definitely think that he's just picking whichever curse is appropriate for the situation, but while kind of making sure that he doesn't go overboard, and he doesn't use kind of excessive force when he doesn't need to, because like if you also think about it, like that worm thing, the caterpillar slug looking thing, that giant that like breaks everything. Like that's not very cute or anything like that, but
no, but he wasn't in a room like with like his kind of friends or these innocent people, as I would call the other people. So like, I think there is a possibility that he could summon this like worm curse and make it a little bit more friendly looking. I don't know, man. Just something about these curses, like I'm like they're a little bit too friendly for my liking.
I mean, I think that's another thing to this show too. Is like I love seeing the variety in curses to begin with, but it's like, dude, come on. Even the old man later in the episode, his curses that he busted out were goofy looking. So it's like, come on, if you want to be menacing, don't pick like a one-footed curse that looks
One
like
foot, yeah.
So I'm the same. So it's like I feel like it's definitely not like necessarily a choice. It's just they have what they have, and then what Getzo is just specifically speaks about his like nature, that he's not trying to be excessive. I think it's a key word right there, or key phrase.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pay attention, man, because I'm like you, Ramon. I'm very interested in Geto's like story about like when he starts turning evil. Because right now he seems like not a bad guy at all. So it's just I'm a little worried that maybe we're not gonna get there. We're maybe gonna start getting hints of him questioning the system. But it might be when season 3 comes out. Maybe they'll have another like prequel to it, and we slowly see even more of him. Like maybe a couple years later after graduating, and maybe that's when his mentality changes. I mean, we can talk for ourselves. Like the people who were in high school is definitely not the people once we left high school. So it could be where he starts developing these ideas in high school, and then once he's out of high school, that's when he really becomes the man that we know today.
I kind of wonder, because I think it could have been one of two ways. Either it could have been a gradual thing, like with this girl, that like while they're protecting her or whatever, like he starts kind of seeing like kind of cracks in the system that he doesn't like. Or it could have been like one giant event that happens that like completely switches his mind and his point of view on everything. Because like right now he's if anything, he's the one that's kind of like keeping Gojo in line, and Gojo's the one with a little bit more like erratic views. And then
absolutely,
and then we know based off the prequel, the movie, that he wants to get rid of all humans, or like all normal humans, and the weak, and he just wants to have sorcerers, because he doesn't think that sorcerers should be protecting the weak. And right now in these episodes, he's all about, he keeps bringing up the fact that like the strong are supposed to protect the weak or whatever. So
I don't know.
I think something happens.
I think, whether it happens on like these next couple, like what we have 4 episodes left of this little mini flashback, or not. I feel like he's definitely showing his character, because even when they finally had Rico, right, like the girl, the vessel, when they're later on at that school scene, he clearly wants to follow directions and let her enjoy high school, because he says it as like, oh, she might never get to experience that again, like once she becomes like the actual vessel for freaking, oh my god, the being that they're going to for Tengen Sama, like then that's it. Like her existence is never going to be the same, whether she's intermixed with him or not. But and then Gojo's like, no, let's rush it. Let's go back to the academy like right away. And so I don't know. I think either way, maybe it is going to be coming out of this like few episodes that he is kind of having these contradictory views with like someone like Gojo, and then I'm sure at one point like maybe something with like the actual school itself, he might have some contradictions. But either way, though, he's one of my favorite characters right now. I think I really feel the way he is, like, it's just so great, and for him to have that crazy of a power and to be that good right now, it's pretty good. I wish he would stay like this forever.
Something that me and Ramon caught, was like, going back to the kissing curse, and like, Gojo kind of got left off fighting the strongest member of Q, but then we find out that he was able to beat him. And then like when we do go to the high school or like we move to the next scene, we find out that because Gojo beat this guy, like the whole organization of Q completely collapsed. It like doesn't no longer exist. So it's kind of funny. Like you're putting all your money on one guy, and once he got defeated, it's like, okay, well, this organization clearly doesn't exist anymore or can't exist because this guy lost all his confidence and got his ass whooped.
I was wondering if that was it because I really couldn't believe it, even on my second rewatch, right? Yeah, because the guy who's being tortured by the freaking Lickitung wannabe curse, he says, it's like, oh, wait till you like meet or fight Bayer, like the strongest member of organization. And then the next clip was like soon after like Bayer like leaves the organization, and then after that like the whole organization dismantles. So is that it for Q? Like was that what it was supposed to be? Because that's what it absolutely read out to be, which is kind of great because then it just leaves us with a star religious group,
Well, like, with Fushiguro, his plan is to like put out a bounty and people to attack him so they could kind of like, I guess, lower Gojo's like power or defense. But I'm like, dude, why not? Like, why couldn't you attack after he was done fighting like the strongest Q member? Like, I don't know, man. I'm questioning Fushiguro a lot, like his planning, what he plans to do, like his gambling. Clearly he's not lucky. Like like I'm questioning this guy's like ability like a lot lately in this new episode that we got. So
his
like
strategy.
His strategy kind of seems to like suck, man. So like, I don't know, man.
You know what? He seems overly confident, but not overly confident where he's being realistic about Gojo, right? Because he's the one that's saying the whole time is like, you don't know, like they have Gojo, like Gojo's over there. Like I'm not gonna be stupid and just rush in there. And what I really enjoyed about as we're discovering more about Toji Fushiguro's like the dad, as we're discovering more about his character, like you guys were saying, like a couple things that I heard that I like, they call him Sorcerer Killer, right? So he already has a reputation. Yeah, they call him Sorcerer Killer.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah. The guy who's like working for the Star Religious Group, who's like his like handler. He's like, oh yeah, aren't you the Sorcerer Killer? And I'm like, okay, so they know him as a Sorcerer Killer. They know he's the right man for the job. But again, even though I'm sure he's like super confident, maybe that's why he's having like a leisurely time gambling and having fun and eating ramen and all this good stuff. Like he knows that Gojo's gonna be like a formidable, like maybe stronger than him. And I think it took a while. It took the handler continuously repeating the whole like, hey, we're basically putting your bounty on threat. Because you've been hiring these, or you put out this bounty, but also if one of them kills them or one of them gets Rico, then you lose your bounty, which makes sense, right? Because he's not doing shit. But I don't know. So I just really been enjoying where he's been at, because like especially after the end of all that, he does kind of snap out of there. Did you guys catch that they asked him about his son?
I did. That was one of my things. So they asked him, I'm like, who the hell's Megumi?
Oh, yeah.
And so like,
Megumi, yeah.
Yeah, Megumi. So like, I looked it up and like, yeah, that's Fushiguro. So it was just kind of like funny that he was like, I don't know, like, what does that mean? Like, either it could be like, I don't know what you're talking about because he doesn't want anybody to know that his son was born, or is this like, I don't care for my son at all?
Quick question: is he older than the sister, or is the sister older?
Sister's older.
So
I took it as
that's the thing. Yeah, because I did catch when they asked about his kid and they said that name, but I didn't know if it was the sister or if it was him or who it was.
You gotta keep in mind that Fushiguro was born with the right abilities, man. Like his shadow stuff, it's like I think a power that most people would be lucky to have. And he himself with that power probably could have elevated. Because I mean, remember we got the whole thing where like the daughter couldn't be the clan leader because she wasn't born with any curse power. So the fact that Fushiguro has this ability and it's very like powerful, it could be like, hey, I don't want people to know about him because the moment they find out that my son has these abilities, they could try to like kidnap him or recruit him to like be the next leader of the clan. So like at least that's how I kind of took it. Like I don't want to think that he doesn't love him as a son. I just think he's trying to be like secretive about him.
Or he might just be a shitty dad.
He could also, I mean, he gambles, but he's freaking like better number 3, last place.
I mean, he's not with his kids, right? That's what matters in that situation. But no, I mean, like that was a cool, I mean, but that's another thing. We're learning more things about his character that I'm kind of just getting really excited to when he does finally fight. Just how crazy he's gonna be, because there's all these things that kind of just makes him seem like he's so careless. in a sense of he's just so laid back because he's that good. And yeah, like the whole thing with freaking his son, like maybe perhaps like you said, it's like a way to protect him, maybe. But you know, kind of how that story ends up anyway. So it's altogether is just really crazy, man. So I'm sure we'll get a little bit of, hopefully we get a little bit of that, like him kind of showing a little bit of the son, and then seeing what happens with that story, because that's something that's been mentioned in this the season 1, but we actually haven't seen it play out. So it'd be a cool place to approach it.
Have you guys ever heard of reverse curse, like energy, or reverse cursing, or reverse
Oh
curse?
no,
Like
that kind of confused me a little bit because I don't remember what they're talking about.
So I guess Choco's the one that uses reverse curse, and it sounded
Which
to
was
me like
Shoko?
The
Choco's
medic.
the medic, the teammate, the girl that looks just
Got
like,
it. Yeah.
yes. So it's like it kind of felt like that's healing properties. Like reverse curse is like you do maybe the opposite, where curse, like when you do a curse, is like you're destroying, hurting people. Maybe reverse curse energy is more like you're implying like like a positive in a way of a negative, like healing them, if that makes any sense. So that's how I took it, but they just couldn't comprehend what she was even talking about it. So that was
That,
also
that,
kind of funny.
that was so funny the way that he describes. Like I never understand what she's talking about, and they have her just talking gibberish, and I'm just like, oh, that's how I feel sometimes when my wife talks to me about nurse stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay,
Yeah, reverse curse
cool.
energy. Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you.
Well, but I mean,
I feel like that's how people react to me talking about almost anything.
Well, when next time your wife tells you she has a patient that's like in need of some healing, be like, have you tried hugging him? Have you tried healing him? Have you hugging him? I'm sorry, hugging him. Have you tried biting him or letting him bite you? there's multiple ways that an enemy you can heal a person.
Have you tried kissing him?
oh yeah,
So
for
many ways.
my hero, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's so funny. All these ways, but you know what? Even I mean, again, kind of not jumping the gun, but like towards the end, also when Gojo's doing his one ability, that's also reverse curse, a reverse curse technology technique. Sorry, reverse curse technique, and I was
that
just
red
wondering
thing
how
he tried to
that.
do.
Yeah, and so I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
so he has his own reverse curse. So I don't know. That's something still that I'm learning as I go with Jujutsu Kaisen too. Like I haven't
Hmm.
still learned all their special like moves and abilities and what kind of goes in that. But I don't know. What do you guys think about Rico, the vessel? Because like those scenes were pretty funny once they actually like showed Gojo and Geto interacting with her.
Hmm.
I like that they were giving Geto crap for his bangs.
Oh yeah, it's like we want to call him Bang Man.
Yeah.
That was funny. No.
I think she's very stereotypical for animes of like that girl that's kind of like kind of all over the place a little bit and rebellious and not wants to listen to anybody. But
I,
I guess I guess we'll see kind of how that goes with
I
the fact that they're trying to go back to Jujutsu High.
I have a theory, but go ahead, Ramon.
Well, I was gonna say, but I do love her attitude about her
Yeah.
kind of merging with Tengen. Like that
Hmm.
was the one thing. Like Gojo's like, why do we even need her anyway? So what's so special about this girl? And then they're basically kind of saying the whole thing how she's basically losing her whole life in a sense. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? This is a positive thing. This is a great thing. Like I get to merge with Tengen Sema and Sema, and then he gets to merge with me. So not only am I him, but he's me. And it's this whole like really holistic way of thinking about it. Whether that's the way that it actually works, I don't know, because like again, we don't know all that. But
Yeah.
it's kind of really cool that at least she's going into it, not like being
Hmm.
reluctant, right? She's not fighting it. She wants to be part of him. She wants to be the next vessel. Which is kind of cool. That's like saying like freaking Orochimaru, and then like Sasuke's like, "All right, dude, let's go. Like I'm yours. I'm for you. Take me."
Well, you know me. I get my crazy theories like every once in a while, but like, dude, I 100% feel like her parents were murdered because she was. They identified that she was supposed to be this best at a young age. So my theory is that they killed off her parents because if you think about it, at a certain point when she becomes of age, she's supposed to like give herself to this vessel. If you have parents, man, or you have people, because they mentioned that she has no family, but you have parents, people to like make you want to be like, hey, I don't want to leave this, like give my existence away because I have my mom, my dad. But I feel the moment you identify this vessel, you kill off any kind of love family members. Then all of a sudden, 15 years later, it becomes a lot easier because this girl has been isolated. She's sort of been told maybe early on, like, this is like your whole existence. So I feel like whether they say it or not, I feel like her family member, her mom and dad dying, is very convenient, man. I don't know if the episodes will touch on that, but I feel like that's the way it is. Because, I mean, come on, dude. It's just like, this girl is way important to just leave it up to chance. And it could be one of those things that in order to combine with Tengen, maybe you do have to like give your will and say, yes, I give you consent to do this to me. But because maybe if you don't give the consent, then it becomes problematic. It becomes a merger that's not able to maybe go the way they normally go. So it's just like, again, that's just my theory on it.
That's some dark stuff, man. But like, I can see Geto finding that out and being like so against that, because like, you know, there was the one scene where like with her escort or maid or whatever she ends up being, but like Geto even says like, well, your family, because she's talking about how she doesn't have family, doesn't have parents, and you know, Geto's really understanding of the fact that you've been there for her, so technically you're her family. So the fact that he's that passionate about the concept of her being family would be crazy if it's that dark and they kind of like, you know, basically set her up, kill her family to have her be the vessel, and then he finds out later. That'd be crazy. But either way, that's a dark concept, man. I love it.
Because he even mentions that the person taking care of her is strong. He's like, oh, you're kind of strong. Yeah. Unless that comment was for the guy, but I think it was more for her, like, because, you know, she was the one to beat him up. It's like he was almost like, oh, you're strong, and that kind of caught me like by surprise, the fact that he acknowledged that, and maybe it does kind of like it's kind of like setting the seeds to be like, hey, you killed her parents, you put this bodyguard / maid, this nanny to like be there her whole life for the purpose of protecting her. So yeah, like, man, that's where I'm heading right now with this whole storyline.
No, absolutely. I mean, I like where it's going for sure. I like the scenes in the high school because it took me by surprise too, where Geto's like, oh, like Gojo, like, oh, you know, get ready. And then everybody's like, for what? And then he like, you know, sensed that there was like 2 intruders in the school. I like that whole idea of just even the fact that, you know, he's over there, the old man. I think that was like a really good opponent to kind of have, because I think I was even watching it like next to my wife too. And she was like, wait, what? Like, why is this old man like about to do something? And I'm like, oh, clearly you're not watching anime like us. Like all these old men are always like freaking badass, but you know, you never know. I liked the interaction. I love that the fact the old man was like sitting there kind of like assuming what Geto was going to be all about, right? He thought like his powers were more Shikigami instead of like the curse manipulation. So he thought that for sure he was going to try to keep his distance instead of try to like fight up close. And boy, did that freaking like that was not the way.
Backfired, yeah.
It's so backfired. I don't know. I love that caterpillar and the way he did that move. But yeah, totally shocked that the old man actually was prepared for that one. That was a good one. And then you saw what Geto kind of did to his face, though. And then Carlos' favorite character showed up.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I was gonna let Rose see anything to say about it, but yeah, like
he already said it. He said he hates dogs.
I know he hates dogs, but
I don't really hate dogs. Dude, like, you guys are making me. You know, I'm gonna get a dog just to spite you guys and then treat it badly.
Please.
You.
Oh wait, badly. Okay, no.
I'm kidding.
Dude, like the moment he broke through that window, and then you do see the dog. Like, what did you think? Like, because I mean, clearly we find out he's like, these are like, right before I die, like, this is just me seeing like some of the best memories that I've dealt with in my life. But like, was there any like, were you thinking Geto had put him in like a Jingetsu? Is that what it's called when Itachi puts him in that?
Dude, yeah, like I thought it was like a mind control thing, or like a hallucination of some kind, or maybe like the
Genjutsu,
one of the domain things. Yeah. Dude, yeah. I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh shit, he has these type of powers too.
But I mean, it had to been something crazy though, and I thought that immediately too, because I'm like, it had to been something crazy for you to find out that this is like a dog from this dude's memory. Which sad freaking flashback of him saying that basically his family preferred the brother instead of him because he was like seeing weird things, and the dog was the only friend. But no, like my immediate thought was that too. It's like some sort of like mind manipulation. But I'm like, how does Geto know that? Like, to be that strong that he would like immediately know dude has a dog, a puppy, like why not a kitten, right? Like, what if he would have messed up and it would have been like, what is this little cat doing?
Or had the wrong breed of dog.
The wrong breed of dog, which don't get that wrong if you have a dog.
Dude, and it's crazy because that flashback was like from 50 years ago. So that means that old person could have been like 68, 70 years old. So that was like a long ass time ago kind of memory. And then the dog's name, I know you don't care, but his name was like Tasuke or Tasuke. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but
Tasuke, yeah.
Tasuke. But yeah, I was just like, oh man, that's like the best of the boys, man. Like it was just such a good boy, man. Like
Good
honestly,
boy.
like if I was gonna
Oh my God.
if I was gonna pass away randomly and you showed me like some clips of my life and like, you know, please let one of those clips be like a memory of me and Shadow, which is my dog, and me and him bonding. Because like, dude, to me, he's just like my son. So like, I definitely like Raul. You don't understand this. To Raul, the idea of a dog being a family member, being somebody you love, somebody that when he does pass away, I will be destroyed for a whole like who knows when I'll ever recover. But it's just like, dude, yeah, like show me a scene of me and my Shadow just playing with one another and like really cherishing the moment between just two bros.
Well, enjoy those thoughts right now, and not waking up to getting your ass beaten while your face smashed. So,
Yeah.
man, I don't think I ever doubted his like fighting skills, obviously, because he's that great. But this is the first time we're seeing him like even more and more. And you know, he basically told the old man, "It's like, what? That's what you wanted, right? You wanted close combat. Here you go, bitch." And like, not, yeah, that was crazy. Left him super
Dude,
beat up. Elderly abuse, but. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy with the shadow clones.
Oh yeah. Were they?
No,
I mean,
he reminded me of a character from Guilty Gear that wears like a, you know, it's a fighting game, and he wears also like a bag of oh my god, what is it, a grocery bag? But what is it specifically? Those paper bag. He wears a paper bag in the head. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting to like put him as the sign for him. But like I don't know, I really. Honestly, I didn't write anything about him. I liked his ability, but even Gojo said it. It's like, why are you so weak if you have such a cool ability?
yeah. I mean, you guys forget like the best part of the show. No, I'm kidding. So real quick, I was laughing my ass off when I was watching like Gojo in the chapel with all the girls. It's just because the scene with the teacher, not the girls. The scene with the teacher was hilarious.
Oh, all of them, dude. It's just the whole scene.
I mean, I get like that. I get like that every time.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if you think about it too,
yeah.
But the thing, if you think about it too, Gojo is like a teenager at this point too, and then so the teacher giving the phone number.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because he's 15, 16, and then the teachers were like what in her like at least in her early 20s.
Yeah,
I just love how she like snuck it in there, like her walk to it. It's like
to go. But the reason why I brought that up is just because not only was that a really enjoyable scene that again makes the episode so much better for not being like crazy. It's just like from there on, Gojo basically takes Riko by the freaking back, and he's just carrying her the rest of the episode, like
a bag,
like a bag. And I thought it was really funny because once they encounter that next curse user, the sorcerer, like it's just kind of the same thing too, where like he's just never letting go of her, and the whole fight takes place with him holding on to her, which I thought was pretty great because not only did he call him weak, but then he was doing like his freaking moves and everything with just holding her up in the air. It's like, nope, can't touch her.
Yeah, well, I think he made her float too, so I don't think she's uncomfortable with any kind of way. I think she's like purposely floating. And dude, this is the most that we've ever gotten clear, kind of like the way interpretation of it, like his powers. And like honestly, man, I listened to them like 5 times, and I still couldn't tell you like his explanation of how his powers work. Besides like the apple and almost having like these pain powers from Naruto, where it's like the ultimate push and bringing you in. But yeah, like I just like some of that just went past me.
I mean,
I think it's kind of like gravity type.
Yeah, I mean gravity. Yeah, like
or like force, like pulling and pushing.
You know what? I'm gonna stick to the names because like they said it, like how our Fushiguro said that his abilities were the 6 eyes and then
the limitless technique.
Yeah, so like just think of it limitless. Like you don't need to overcomplicate it. I also like probably rewatched that scene a couple times where he explained it, and I started getting it. But then at the end where he was saying that it's so hard to control and it's such a pain to try to control, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. I don't need to control it. Not my problem. I'm just gonna watch you do your thing, man.
It's funny because when I think of the 6 eyes, I think of the 6 pat. Like again, going back to like Naruto, so I think of the 6 pats. Is that what it's called? Like this, like right?
That and
with
then
the gates or what?
Yeah, the one guy that has the gates and stuff. It's like the 6 pats, right? Is that what? I don't know. I just I'm the one that saw the Naruto the like way back in the day.
Yeah,
the Sage of 6 Paths.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Okay. And then with Limitless, I mean, you could almost tie it back to like Limitless, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And the show, pretty
And
good
the
show.
show. Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I heard
I
he makes
liked
an
it.
appearance in that show too.
He does.
Bradley Cooper.
I
Wait,
like
oh
it.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper. Yeah, I'm like, man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But no, I
I was
mean, yeah,
gonna, yeah, I was gonna wait. Sorry, real quick before we move off Gojo, I was gonna ask you. So, can he turn that off? Like the whole fact, like, hey, you can't touch me, or like nothing can hit him. Is it like something he can turn off? Right? Like he can purposely like turn
yeah,
it
I
on.
don't know. It seems like it's always on.
Well, no, because the girl slaps them. So, like, I wrote that in the beginning of the scene. When she wakes up, she like clearly
Oh.
slaps them and hits them. So it's like, okay, there he didn't have it on. So it's like now I'm kind of thinking this is just something that Gojo, or maybe if there's intent to actually hurt him, that's when it turns on. I don't know.
I mean, it's
I
just
don't
like,
know.
yeah, I think he has really good mastery over it. That's about it. So, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. I think also, like, yeah, you guys already heard my opinion about Gojo, like, in these episodes so far. Still, like, not annoying, but in a sense, it's like, I can see why, like, people kind of get annoyed at him at the moment they're with him, like, Getzo specifically. But at the same time, it is kind of cool to also, like, start seeing more why he's so strong. Because they mentioned a little bit about just, like, his family in a sense, and that he is, like, as special as he is. But the fact that we still haven't seen what's gotten to earn him more of that reputation is kind of the only sad part right now, that I'm like, I want to see more. Like, this is even fishing Fushiguro thinks, like, knows that he's that strong. I want to know why. But anyways,
Yeah.
really enjoyable right now. I think he's just like, he's still kind of that comedic relief and annoying kind of like part of this show right now. But Getsu's definitely my favorite one right now, like altogether right now.
No, yeah, no. I mean, I don't have anything else to say other than the dad making Fushiguro making bad bets and like not winning, and I'm like, dude, this would like clearly like his life is not going the way he planned it. But I just like you, I want to see more of him and his actually fighting style and see why he's called, what was it, the Curse Killer or the
Sorcerer Killer.
Sorcerer Killer? I want to know more about that.
Yeah. So do you guys think the next episode is that what we're gonna get? We're finally gonna get Fushiguro and freaking those guys fighting? Because I mean he left that ramen
Maybe.
shop in a hurry. Like he was gone. He didn't even see who won. He left
I
his
know.
last little dumpling sitting there like oozing out, and I'm like, dude, no, don't waste food.
Well, he didn't win because I think he had number 5 again. I like wrote down every like one of his numbers on his tickets. Yeah. So the first one was 3, and then on the second one he had number 5.
Dang, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think he's on his way over there. Like finally, I think because especially
Well, he kidnapped the girl. I mean, he kidnapped the maid, right? The nanny.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
I
he
forgot that
kidnapped
little
her.
detail. I was
Yeah, I
wondering who
forgot about
kidnapped
it too.
her. Yeah, I just assumed, but I mean, who else would it be right now, right? Because he was the only one that
But
was on its way.
yeah. But again, this is where I say like Fushiguro's like plan is dumb because like clearly Gojo's not even still weak unless that whole explosion through the office building weakened him. I'm like, no, dude, like this is still at 100% of his
I,
power.
I wonder if it's one of those situations where the more that he uses his power, like it drains him.
True.
I don't
This
Is
all
think
that why
happened
it
the
so.
same day,
failed?
right?
And is that
Huh?
why it failed? Because remember when he was trying to do his
Mhm.
reverse curse technique,
No,
it
no,
failed.
I think he just like still hasn't perfected it.
Perfected it.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, it could be also that too, though. Like you don't know,
Yeah.
like he
All right.
just ran out
Well.
of juice.
All right. Jujutsu Kaisen. Next episode, like, please deliver and some action
Please,
because I really want to. Yeah. No, we got some good stuff
So,
in this. So, and so far, I'm like you said, Ro. Like, I'm liking it. I just I'm waiting to see like a little bit more. I'm intrigued, and I definitely no hate whatsoever. Like, especially because I know it's only gonna be like one more episode of this, and like we're done. So, like, please, like, keep making these backstory. Like, I don't care if Geto and Gojo just go and get ice cream, and that's the whole episode. Like, I honestly
Yeah.
wouldn't even mind.
I want to see him stroll around, like, just kind of being all cool, like freaking Geto being all focused, and then Gojo again, ice cream cone in hand, and doing his little swag dance. Like,
um,
damn.
well, before we move on to the Bleach episode, man, I do want to say the one thing that I'm pushing today, kind of like telling people about it, is our Discord channel. If you're listening to us and you're like, where can I communicate with these guys where I can actually tell them my thoughts and they'll reply right away, else one of them will like hear me out, go ahead and join our Discord channel, man. Like it's everywhere for you to join it in our beacons links, on our Instagram, on our Twitter. Like you can find that link to the Discord anywhere you look. So feel free to join it. And if you're still feeling just comfortable doing comments on YouTube or on Instagram or Twitter, feel free to do that also. But again, I would love to get our
on
Discord
thread.
channel. Yeah, that too. I would love to get our Discord channel to grow. So that's what I'm kind of like again promoting this time, our Discord channel, because I really want to get more people in there so we can start asking people to kind of like, hey, what do you want to hear us talk about?
Yeah, I mean, just to, and continue to have these discussions, man. Because even on our last, like in our YouTube video of this podcast, we had some really great comments. Like, obviously it was more on the Bleach side, but it's like, there's clearly some people out there that they're listening. You guys are listening to us, and you guys are liking, or even educating us even more. Because again, there's people who just love this stuff even more and crazy in hours and hours and hours, and I don't have the time, so please, I like interacting. I like hearing more. I mean, the people I talk to, they just educate me more, so I love it. Keep bringing it on.
Well, dude, if it's funny because if the Jujutsu Kaisen episode started with Geto making tea, the Bleach episode started with a board meeting. So it was just like, oh my god, like did they get on the same page about this? Like, what's going on here? We got tea making and we got board meeting. So like, I don't know if you guys want to even like start with that. Like, what did you guys think about this board meeting? Clearly, these Quincy's are the ones that are like the powerful ones. For in the last episode, we just got a bunch of them in a group setting, and you couldn't tell like rank. In this one, anybody that had a seat in that table, those are the ones that are meant to be the fighters. And I saw somebody that I'm very interested in seeing fight. So like, I'm like, yeah, like hell yeah, like let's go to the fight.
Dude, I have a question. So that blonde guy, is that B or like what letter is he? Because he's the one. He's the one that they got mad because he was supposed to be the successor, right?
Yeah, he was B. That was B.
What does the B stand for? That's what I want to know.
I mean, you guys are there you go.
The badass, yes.
The badass. I mean, you guys are definitely the ones that watched more of the Bleach.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of dumb because even when like the flame guy was like, my letter's F, and I'm like, F, what could it stand for if he's fucking flames? And it's like, I'm the flame.
No, it was H.
It was H. For heat.
Oh, the heat. Oh, see, that's what I mean. Like, I was fucking like, what could the H be? And it's like the heat. Okay, that even makes less sense. It should have been the flame.
Or hell, no. Yeah. You know what? That board meeting was still pretty interesting in a sense. Like, no, for me, and again, for me, it's just kind of like I'm along for the ride right now. I just kind of started it at the 1,000-year Blood War. But I think that initial scene really set the tone, and we already knew from the last episode where you'll watch or Yahuba. I can never pronounce his name, man. We're never.
I love that you keep doing that. I love the fact that you don't stick to one. You're doing both of them, so keep it up.
I'm gonna do both, man. And one of these days I'll get just the one right. But in the last episode he set the tone when he said, in 9 days we will conquer this, right? So you already know that's the plan, 9 days. But in the beginning, in this little meeting that they had in the beginning, they basically said his like rules or his like one thing condition that he told them all was to annihilate the enemy instantly. So that every single fight that's gonna happen from now on is gonna count because they're following orders, and their one order is like don't bullshit around, just go straight to it. Kill them. They're clearly trying to take advantage that they don't have, like, most of them don't have their bankai. They don't have their they don't have their bankai right now, right? Like a lot of these guys don't have their bankai, so they're taking advantage of a great strategy, right? Not to mention that they fucking surprised them by being like already there, like hiding in the shadows, like their whole freaking mansion and everything just kind of came out of the ground and magically there.
Yeah, dude, and apparently they had another rule that like whoever stole the bankai is the one that's supposed to kill the bearer of the bankai.
Yeah. No, I did they definitely try to explain and tell us like this is how we're able to teleport into your world, and it's just like it's interesting. Like I honestly, again, another thing that I couldn't like explain you the details of it. All I know is that using their Quincy powers, they were to create this other dimension or this other world based that it's like they live in the shadows of this soul society, and I like that, man. Like, because you never would have thought that's like the enemy is just hiding in the same ground, like same. I would imagine it to be like almost like Stranger Things, like the Upside Down. It's like they were almost hiding in the upside down, and they were able to just like come in and like avoid all their like defense. I love that fact about it.
Hey, Carlos, after this episode, you should check your dog for Quincy's.
What does that even make? How does that even make sense?
Shadow, living in the shadow.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Come on, Carlos.
Well, all I gotta do is like get rid of all the shadows in the room, man.
There you go.
Then,
That means we got to get a bunch of LEDs, wrap them all around you, carry on some like light bulbs, and just walk around, man. That was great.
Yeah.
No, I do like.
How impossible is that? Like to get rid of shadow, like all the shadows in the room.
You can.
I know, but it's like how much like work do you have to like put into it?
A lot.
I don't know. A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, because you pretty much have to like set lights anywhere where a shadow would show up.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
like that wall, I would need to have lights there so that no shadows show up like behind me, and
Yeah.
then like everywhere else, like underneath stuff, around stuff. So you gotta pretty much have the whole room be like concave so that nothing's sticking out to
Dude,
make a shadow.
But I did
like,
like what's his name? Kurosuchi. I like his outfit. It was
dude,
freaking
that's what I was just gonna say, dude. Like that freaking outfit,
You
dude.
look so
Freaking
fluffy.
yeah,
I want
my
special.
Yuri. Yeah, my Yuri, like the outfit, but not even his outfit. Like the girl's outfit is like lieutenant. Like she was
cute.
dressed in this little like top hat. I'm like, oh my god, dude. It was just it was fucking awesome. Like he's always the one that like he has different looks and like they always make like an impact on you because like wait, you didn't look like this and now you have like this different style to you. So I love that about him.
And it's always
Another
practical for some
yeah.
reason.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I got in because, like, I mean, again, so I'm so like so new to Bleach that I'm writing a few things down because I don't want to sound dumb, even if I do slightly mention them. But yeah, like with the whole idea of like the Quincy's creating like that underworld, so to speak, with the Reishi was cool. But then the fact that you have this guy who's like the scientist or like the researcher, and he already knows that, and not only that, he's already came up with like some awesome ways of like fighting it, including like a whole freaking light up suit. I don't. It just seemed funny to me. And you guys told me that he was like freaking has some cool fights and all this stuff. And hopefully we get to see some of that. I mean, I'm sure, obviously, because they're fighting for their
Well,
freaking survival right
he's
now.
He's one that I don't know how it would be if they steal his Bankai. Because if they do, I wonder if it goes back to like the basic form of his Bankai. Because he's
Oh,
done so many improvements on it.
dude, like he if you steal his Bankai and you try to use it against him, it could have been that he implanted like a self destruct, like his Bankai would explode because he lost control of it. So it's like he does all these experiments to it that like you don't know what you're gonna get with him.
Well, that's what it seemed like with that interaction that he had with the guy that was there for him. It was just like that he was like, yeah, go ahead, take your time. I'm not going to attack. Like, the more time that I have time, the more time that I can analyze and the more that I got to fight you. Like, it's...
You don't know what Mayuri's like Bankai is, right? Like you like
no,
if you like
no.
oh dude, it's awesome. Wait till you like get to see it. It's
more the reason why I need to start watching this, but like I do need to rewatch all the Bleach.
It's fucking weird. It's
like
weird.
It's the weirdest one of them all.
Imagine.
So other people don't have to educate me. Give me a quick glimpse of what it is, or at least
poison.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
That's a simplification.
Among other things.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so excited to see. Like, let's see what he does for me again.
Well,
Dude,
the things I do like about these episodes, because this is why I wanted you to just kind of start off right here, Ramon, because we do get the chance to tell you about these captains. I think in the last season, we really weren't able to spend the time with all of them and be like, this is their ordeal or this is how they work. But now that we're seeing them episode by episode, we do get to spend the time and kind of tell you a little bit about them. Like even with him, the one thing that you might not know about Mayuri is that his captain or his lieutenant's actually like a robot android that he created. So it's like not even a real person. So if you ever do see her and you see her do like weird things with her hands or anything, it's because he created her. So that's another thing you should probably know about him.
Create something that
I forgot about that too.
You can do. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's so that's where I'm like, oh, this is interesting to have you, because then not only are we talking to the audience that probably already knows this, but then we can kind of tell you about them. And I bet you didn't know that the captains each had like something to them. Like you didn't know that there was like, oh shit, like there's 13 because each one of them has something that they're responsible for it. So like now you know that this guy's department or he's a captain of research and development. So that's kind of cool too.
That I knew, but I'm still not quite there with everyone else. Like I don't think I've caught like all those little like intricacies, but it's just, again, exploring this is great. But yeah, he's definitely one that's sticking out because he seems to just laugh about everything, but he's clearly really smart and really practical. So.
Kind of creepy.
Well, definitely creepy, man. Let's not to mention he's
most
like
likely to be a serial killer.
I don't even know what he has under that whole giant cloak of his or whatever he has.
He's probably like the Orochimaru of this group, but never goes like that extra, like, I'm going to kill. Well, I mean, he does kill people all the time, because I think even in like the last season you find out that he got rid of this whole village because he was trying to like balance out the real world. Yeah, so it's like he does kind of do fucked up shit.
Dang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, but yeah, and then I don't know if you guys caught it. So when the fire Quincy was fighting against the captain, the ice captain guy, the kid.
Yeah. His name is because he's like popular. Toshiro.
Yeah.
Toshiro.
Yeah. So when they were fighting, so when he lost his Bankai, he lost like the ability to make as much ice. So now he makes thinner ice, and he puts a pocket inside of it so it doesn't melt. Or what? Well, how did that work? I know he explained it, but
yeah, go ahead.
It was the other she captain too.
Like a
that's his lieutenant.
Oh, his lieutenant. Yeah. So like she was basically using ash or create like her thing that she was doing with ash, and then by mixing the two was almost like cement.
And then turning it back into a sword, making it super thin. But like even without that part, he was still using his ice, but like just making it really thin.
So like I guess what Ro was trying to say, like I was under the impression that they stole your Sanpato, like your Bankai, like you would steal the whole sword's ability, even the fact that he could make ice with it, which is like his regular Sanpato ability.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like surprising to me and Ro. They're like, oh shit, he can still make ice. So for example, Bakuga technically could still do the rose petals. So that's where I'm like,
maybe.
Like that's where I'm like, but remember what I told you about Tochiro's kind of like an interesting case because again, I think I told you guys that his sword's meant to be like a legendary sword, like one of like few, like a very rare one. So I don't know if that's also like playing into like the idea that he can still do his abilities because his sword itself is very legendary.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. I mean, I did, again, it was just because, again, I still, don't know all their abilities, that everything kind of seemed normal. I did like the idea that it sounded like he was kind of like mix matching his like thin layers of ice, so like super layer them. Because I mean, that Stern Ritter, the H, whatever his name is, the pirate guy.
The Heat.
The Heat. This is what I call him, the Heat from now on. No, like, I mean, dude came in there, and again, all these Quincy's are like super cocky right now, right? Like super cocky because they're like, they don't have their Bankai. We are in control. We just surprise attack them from inside, and I really enjoy that because, like,
and the head captain guy already thought of everything.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely everything. But I don't know, man.
To the Quincy's.
Yeah, I guess if the last. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying that it was just kind of fun to watch like how cocky he was, and then the captain Toshiro was still like pretty still able to withstand his own until later when he started using his little finger blasting.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like if the last.
Carlos, it's okay, Carlos. Don't look it up.
I'm a 12-year-old.
Don't look it up.
No, trust me. I always like try to
look it up.
But no, what I was gonna say, like, I don't know if Bleach is trying to do something like on every episode where it's gonna like upset me, but the whole explanation about like how he was able to do the ice wall and like, oh, we're gonna tell you because I feel generous to tell you, like, dude, like I don't need you to explain to me the idea that her what was it, sand or
ash?
Yeah, the ash.
The ashes are being combined with the ice. Like I'm seeing it. Like you don't need to explain to me like the science behind it. So I did find that kind of like stupid about it. It's just like there's certain things, man. I'm always gonna call it out if I feel like something's stupid, but I feel like that was like just not needed. Like, dude, like I don't need your explanation. Like he doesn't need it. He's the fucking the
enemy.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were just listening. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, like I totally agree with you. Like if I would understand if they explained it if they hadn't shown them combining it, like just if it would have held against the fire, then they'd be like, whoa, why is it holding it? And then he explained it. But like we saw the two thing mixing together and then making the wall, so we just assumed that the mixing of it is making it stronger somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I was gonna say like, well, if that was like my least favorite part, like the next part that I want to talk about was like my favorite part where I felt like, okay, this kind of saved the episode for me. But I don't know if you have something else to like talk about.
No, it was just commenting on that because remember that one podcast that we were commenting about earlier, like just other group that does a great job, but they were definitely breaking down Hell's Paradise, and that was one of the things that they were kind of crapping on is just that everybody starts calling out their moves at one point, and I feel like maybe for a new anime that's like first season introducing kind of a lot of what's going on, I feel like it's still acceptable. But I mean, you guys are telling me that after watching like years of Bleach, you still don't get tired of them telling you what they're doing. No, it does seem silly, man. It seems silly, but I don't know, like, because even I got it, and it made sense to me. And just the whole ability of like, oh, I don't have a Bankai, so I need to work with her, and this is teamwork in order to like stop this guy.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's where I like Jujutsu Kaisen, the idea that they tell you why they're doing or how they're able to do things, but it's because once they tell you, it amplifies their attacks like twice as much damage because now you know how I'm doing it. So I like that. That's when like, I think Jujutsu Kaisen got really smart about how to tell the audience and tell the enemy in a way that's actually purposeful, where it's like Bleach still doing it just to do it, and it's like, dude, like you don't have to do that. Don't tell the guy how your bankai works. Like it's not doubling your power by him knowing it. Stop giving away secrets. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
But what part were you talking about that's one of your favorite?
Dude. Well, like I mean, this one, like I like the next scene we got, and I'm not gonna say that like because we get a scene where like this lieutenant's like talking to his little sister, and the little sister's like, "Hey, don't go, like don't fight, stay here with me." And I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, bro, Ramon, that guy sucks. He's like the least interesting character possibly in all of Bleach. Raul, I don't know,
but he's not great.
There's not you couldn't tell me one good thing about him, man. Other than like he has this position not because he earned the lieutenant title. It's more like his family. He comes from like a good family, so he got this title just because he comes from like a good family. So it's like you don't even earn that spot. So I think that even like his captain doesn't really respect him because of the fact that he's lazy. He's not powerful. No, go ahead.
He has potential though.
What potential,
dude? In the Eisen arc. You don't remember him fighting on the roofs with his captain?
I remember him like being like, I gotta stop being like a weakling, and yes, trying to like actually prove himself, but still didn't make me respect him at all.
His Sabacto wasn't bad. It was just he was going against like a way stronger opponent.
His Sanpato, Ramon, is just a spiky ball that he can like throw, kind of like in Hell's Paradise with that one guy that hit Gabimaru in the head with. It's just like that. So I don't know if you like that kind of weapon, then yes, his attack is cool, Raul.
I just thought it was funny how he kept on telling his sister to like go away and stuff like that, but she was there the whole time. Like she never left his side, which where you were telling us earlier about like in the manga or I don't know where like she's the one that gets hurt. Like, it would make more sense because he really never actually pushed her away like enough to be like, okay, go to hide and stuff. And
yeah, like I saw in the manga panel, somebody pointed out that she actually gets stabbed by one of his like fingers and stuff. But no, I was just gonna say like for me, like his captain came in, Ramon, and like she comes in a cool way, like where she grabs all these like bullets from like the turret that the guy does.
Yeah.
And like she just came in and like it was so cool to see her, dude. And like this is a captain that you do get to see some really cool stuff from her throughout the whole Bleach. And like you don't know her ability, but her Sanpato, when she like says the name of it, it turns into like this like finger thing, like I wish I'm almost like get a picture of it, but it turns into like this finger, and if she touches you twice in the same spot or stabs you twice in the same spot, it's like an automatically you're dead. Like it's just like one hit kill. So it's like whenever she's fighting enemies, she can never. That's the only thing. It's like she never really gets them like in the same spot twice. Sadly, it's always like they're always covering like butterflies because as soon as she like stabs you, a big old butterfly like appears in your body, and she just has to hit that butterfly again, and then you're automatically dead. But I don't think she's ever done like maybe she's done it like to like lower enemies, bro. But like she hasn't done it to like anybody important, right? Like that's nobody has ever died by her like that.
Because who was she fighting? Because she did it like 3 times to the other captain that she was fighting, in the Eisen arc. But I don't remember which captain that was.
But that's something like really cool about her. Like, hey, you're gonna introduce this character. It's like super fast, meant to be an assassin. Also looks like that girl from Hell's Paradise. And her whole thing is like, I stab you once, and if I can stab you again in the same spot, and now there's a big old butterfly to tell me like where the mark is, you're dead. Like it doesn't matter what level, your rank. It's like an automatically. That's my power. Here she still didn't have that, but she came in and she like developed this new power, and it was freaking awesome. Like I love that. Like I hope in the next episode she doesn't get rescued by somebody. It still turns out that she's still alive, but she can still continue to like kick ass. Because I just love characters that can move fast, be on your face, and all of a sudden they can summon this like incredible, like almost like from Naruto, the bushy eyebrows, like almost like him, like a boost of energy. So it's just like I want to see that.
Rock Lee,
yes.
Bushy brow. But no, I was definitely enjoying just the fact of even just kind of hearing things like when they're talking about their spiritual pressure and how it's like increasing, and then these guys without their bankai are doing like this amazing stuff. And again, sucks that I don't know all the history and all this stuff, but like with her and her like new technique, I was gonna ask you guys. So that's definitely a new technique, right? Because like that what she was doing with like the whirlwinds and all that stuff. It was really cool, man. Like I really enjoyed her and the other captains like fight because it just seemed like again them trying to do the most they can without like their bankai.
Dude, I think it's so cool that they're so like resourceful about it because they lost their bankai, but they're like they're learning how to live without them and still be powerful, and that's part of what makes them so powerful is that they got good at fighting with what they had, and now that they lost their bankais, they gotta deal with what they had.
But then we gotta like, I mean, I'm not assuming they're dead, but like I know she got messed up pretty bad, and then the other captain too, when the other like the freaking heat with his burner finger when he did the burner finger too, that was a pretty cool move, you know. So anyways, but yeah, just kind of just keep thinking about like what their destiny or what's gonna happen to them at this point, because you know. What are you laughing at, Ro? It's all right.
Because I'm a child. I'm a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid.
At least I called it by the right name this time. Like finger, the burner finger 1 and 2, and not other stuff.
Dude, one thing that's interesting about Foison that you'll probably like see is that hopefully you'll see, but it's like one of the things that's interesting about her is that she used to be like the lieutenant to this really powerful. There was the previous captain of that squad, and she's still around. Like she's still around, still like a badass. She's actually somebody that's like very likable, very funny, very attractive, very like like resourceful, and like her moves are even more incredible than her.
Super fast.
If you think she's amazing, like her previous captain is like on another level, like on a god level. So it's just like the idea of her still even coming in and like helping her out. Like I want to see that. But I also, again, I'm so like used to her getting rescued or getting her ass whooped that I'm like, I really want to see her like have a really meaningful win. So like, I also don't want nobody to come in rescuing her.
Well, I'm excited. Well, because I mean, basically, the show doesn't it end with basically, what's his name, Urahama, the guy with the bucket hat? Yeah. Basically saying that he figured out how to retreat or how to reclaim the Bankai. So that's gonna be pretty exciting because.
Yeah, I mean, not all of them got it stolen. So, I mean, at this point, like, it's just kind of like...
I think there only like 5 or 4 of them did.
Yeah. Or even like she's fighting like this robot-looking creature. And it's funny because he's like, I'm not going to use your Bankai. But again, we've told you her Bankai is just like a giant atomic bomb. So it's like, okay, use the bomb. As long as you dodge it, technically there's nothing to it. Because you can't use it like twice. At least that's my understanding. It's like a one-shot. You hit them and they're dead, and if you don't hit them, like it's just a big old explosion. So like I'm like, okay, go ahead and use her Bankai. She can probably dodge that shit. She doesn't like her Bankai. So this whole idea, like her Bankai guy stolen, so now she has to like find a new way to fight. Like I found it just completely ridiculous. Yeah. She's an assassin. She's an assassin. Ramon, think about it. She's an assassin. Why would you want to have an atomic bomb be like your Bankai? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
It's not her style. Yeah.
But
no, I mean, I think
I'm gonna have to look into that because I don't think that's exactly how that works.
It's not just like a bomb, like a giant bomb.
No, I don't think so,
dude. It's a freaking like giant rocket that she shoots and like big old bomb, and like she says it like I don't want to like use this thing because it's like. Because her whole thing is like assassins are supposed to be quiet, so there's nothing quiet about a bomb.
Oh, yeah. Never mind, ignore me.
Oh, guys. But no, yeah, Ramon, like, I mean, it ends there, and hopefully in the next episode we get a little bit same fights, because I don't want it to be like going different fights.
Because she hates her Bankai.
That's what he said.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, compared to me, it's been like 10 years or even more. But
yeah. I mean, I'm saying the Quincy's are not doing what they're supposed to. They're not freaking eliminating immediately. They're over here messing around, and just go ahead and use the Bankai and kill them.
Should we create like something just to remind us to like think about Ichigo? Because I feel like Ichigo's gonna be very like always like in the background this whole season, this whole like part 2. So it's like this episode, I guess if we have to give an update on what Ichigo's doing, it's like he's just continuing to walk and trying to like reach
Oh,
the
yeah.
door, but it keeps expanding. It's like another infinite devil situation here.
No, I mean it does remind me of like different parts of like Naruto and stuff like and the arcs that he was
Dragon
never
Ball.
really present. Or yeah, and all
Yeah, I
these
know.
other like where the main characters are like training and doing all these things. But
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because even I forget about Ichigo, especially because all these guys are like brand new to me for the most part. So like I'm having fun finding more about these guys, and then yeah, I totally forget that they're not even the main character. So, but yes, he is still just kind of treading along that infinite
Training.
void, or yeah, training apparently.
So,
I don't know.
one of us,
Hey,
one of us
quick
will have to
question.
remember to do an Ichigo update on the next episode.
Question. So as he's walking through that, is like gravity increasing,
It's like
or what's happening?
it's like he's trying to reach the end of this hallway, but he just keeps expanding. That's what I kind of like
No,
noticed
no, I know,
about it.
but they kept saying something about heavier too. But I don't know, like if it was like spiritual pressure or if it's like gravity or what's also happening. Because something else is happening besides him just trying to get closer to the door.
I don't know.
No.
You're gonna have to figure that out. Tell me,
I'm gonna have to watch
explain
it
it to
again.
me more because I mean, besides him being in there, I keep forgetting about him too. And I did
mean, dude,
forget
have
that
you-
was that last little clip at the end of the episode.
I mean, have you never been in a hotel where it's like your room is like all the way at the end, and it's almost like you're never gonna reach it, and it's like, dude, I don't even want to
No.
leave this room because it's like impossible to get to it.
Especially after drinking all night and being
Yeah.
home tired after doing whatever. And you're like, where is
Good
it?
thing I don't drink.
Yeah. No, but I mean, good episodes, man. Again, I wish I had more to talk about Bleach, but I think it was a very like, this is what we're giving you, and it's just not its fault, because it's trying to tell a big story, especially this 9-day war that I'm really doubtful it's gonna last 9 days, more like a 1-day war, but we'll see where it keeps going.
And I just want to see some episodes like last season, like that first season of Blood,
Yeah.
1000-Year Blood War, like had some like 2 at least that were like standalone, freaking amazing. But then even some really good fights. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for fights. I know that's not what anime is all about, but in this case, dude, it's Bleach. They freaking have like the Sonbakutos or Bankai. Their Quincy's are crazy. Like, come on, like let's just. Yeah.
You know that guy that Soifan is like fighting the robot looking dude?
Yeah.
I swear to God, dude, if in the next, and I should know this, but
Ultron?
I don't remember. Or whatever you want to call him, but if it turns out that somebody's piloting this dude from another like a mile away, I'm gonna grab these headphones. I'm gonna fucking throw them against the wall because I'm sick of it. Like now with Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto, like it's like, dude, stop giving me robots that are being piloted somewhere else, and like in reality, you don't have to fight that guy. You got to go fight the controller, and it's just like I feel like that's where this is heading with that guy because he doesn't.
Like Sorcery was inside of his robot.
No, but like Mekamaru.
No, he wasn't.
Mekamaru and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Remember Mekamaru? The guy is sitting in a vat of like
in a
liquid.
bathtub like a mile away. Yeah, so it's like I can't do another one of these robots that's being piloted. I know Bleach probably did it first before any of these, but it's like no more. Stop giving me these like robots that are being controlled from a distance.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I still don't even know what that guy's deal is all about. He did remind me of the guy in the movie Thor. That like freaking dude Thanos sends down, the one with the freaking gridded facial shield, and then he shoots a laser beam. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I forgot his name.
We're in a whole different
in the first Thor.
Yeah, in the first Thor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like big old metal dude, and it's like.
He reminded me of one of Pain's Naruto's like Pain's like one of his like personalities, the one that has like all the bombs and stuff, like the one that's like kind of like a robot, like. Yeah, that's the one that he reminded me of. So like, I want to see more of them. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to see multiple fights. I want to stick to one fight and like see the payoff of that fight before you go to the next one.
Oh man, don't do what the freaking Demon Slayer did. Where like next episode we're dealing with like another fight, and then next episode another fight, and then by the time you come back to it like 3 episodes later, you're like, what? Like what happened? Like how did he get hurt? Yeah. And then they spent like 5-10 minutes recapping what happened. Anyways, like we'll see.
No. All right, man. Well, this episode 2, man, not the best ones for both Jujutsu and Bleach, but I think it's we got a lot of good stuff coming up, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
Nah, we're here for it.
And it looks like the head captain is going to be fighting soon, or the new head captain.
Again, guys, if that robot turns out to be controlled by somebody,
oh my God! Okay, we get it.
We're gonna be doing a review of Barbie just because like I need a palate cleanser. Like I just need something completely opposite. No, Barbie, dude. Barbie. We got
Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer.
I'm Team Barbie.
Whatever it takes to get that.
I'm Team Oppenheimer.
I don't know, man. I have to go with Team Barbie too, but I'll watch both.
Ah,
I'll watch both
I'm a nerd.
just for you. No, I'll watch it with you.
I'm a science nerd, so
Okay.
Oppenheimer all the way.
All right, then. No, go ahead. What? You want to say some formula stuff before we leave?
Nope. I'm good. Oh, I did go to my mom's and I found some old like textbooks and stuff like that. So that was interesting.
Tell us more about how smart you are.
No, like a proofwriting book and some stats books, and I got rid of all of them.
All right, since you brought it up, like I went to my mom's house also recently, and she gave me a box full of all my accomplishments. And let's just say, man, I was pretty good at writing at whatever middle elementary school. I'm like, did I really write these thoughts in like elementary school? Like, it makes me question my intelligence now when I was a little kid, but like now.
Well, if it makes you feel better, last time I went to my mom's house, there was like almost no trace of me besides photos, and those don't count because that's just pictures of me. That's a little scary, you know.
That's because your younger brother's clearly the favorite one.
There you go. Yeah,
you're like that guy with the dog. That's gonna be your flashback.
Oh, I dig it. I'm down for it.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey,
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.